So recently, US Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that autistic children will, and I quote, never pay taxes, they'll never hold a job, they'll never play baseball, they'll never write a poem, they'll never go out on a date, many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. This, as you might imagine, made me a little bit very angry. It is obviously absolute complete steaming rubbish. I'm autistic. I pay taxes. I've worked since I was a teenager. I don't write poetry, but my first book is about to be published. I've been on dates, and I can, and I hate that I feel the need to say this, I can use the toilet. And that's what I posted on social media as an immediate reaction. And here's the thing, I think maybe I was wrong to do that, but we'll get to that later. First, let's take a slightly deeper look at the colossal idiot who said those things. RFK Jr., or to give him his full name, Robert fucking Kennedy Jr., was, of course, lucky enough to be born into one of the most famous, respected and privileged American political families of any generation. His face looks like a wet paper bag left out in the sun. His voice is gravelly because when younger he accidentally swallowed one of the many silver spoons he was born with. Now, earlier in his life he seemed to hold generally liberal views, focusing particularly on environmental causes, but as he's aged he's become, what's the correct constitutional phrasing, a dangerous fuckwit. So what does he actually believe? Well, he thinks there's no connection between HIV and AIDS. There is. He says there's tremendous evidence that antidepressants cause mass shootings. There isn't. He thinks that Lyme disease is a military weapon. It's not. He thinks COVID was engineered to not affect Jewish people. He thinks that the 5G phone signal is part of a government plot to alter our DNA and control us. It's not. He claims that Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates secretly worked together to prolong the COVID pandemic. They didn't. He thinks that the trails of water vapour left in the sky by passenger jets are secret brain-controlling chemicals. They're not. They're basically clouds. He thinks chemicals in the water make people trans. They don't. He thinks autism is a, quote, preventable disease. It is neither preventable nor a disease. And of course, he thinks vaccines cause autism. They fucking do not. There's more, but frankly I am exhausted by his wrongness. But at least we know that he can change his mind about things. Not too long ago he said that Donald Trump was, quote, a terrible human being, a discredit to democracy and probably a sociopath, but now they're besties. Look, I'm not the intellectual titan that RFK Jr. is. I've never had a brainworm or a 14-year heroin habit, but I like to think that I can look up facts. Part of being an adult is realising that you don't know everything, and some people know more about some things than you. But that clashes with the kind of alpha male bullshit that fuels the insane confidence that people like RFK seem to have, where if something feels right, then it's acceptable to shout it at people. Vaccines do not cause autism. The only thing that ever said they do was Andrew Wakefield's 1998 paper, which was found to be completely fraudulent. It has been proven time and time again that there is no link between vaccines and autism. Autism isn't a disease. You won't get it if I cough on you. It's a difference, that's all. My brain is slightly physically different to the brain of someone who isn't autistic. This isn't an opinion, this is a provable fact. RFK Jr. loves to talk about the autism epidemic, but of course there isn't one. Listen, breast cancer diagnoses rose by over 300% between 1973 and 1992 because mammograms were implemented for screening in 1976. There was a huge increase in left-handed people once schools stopped forcing everyone to write with their right hand. Pluto was discovered on February the 18th, 1930, but it was always there. We just learned how to look. There are more autistic people, and crucially, more autistic people who are speaking out and being heard these days because we see them. In the past, these people had a much worse time. To understand autism, you need basic empathy, that something that's tiny to you might be large and painful to someone else. Basic human empathy, that's all. It's a difference, neurodiversity. But the thing is, RFK and the people he hangs out with really hate diversity. So, at the top of the video, I said that maybe I was wrong to have reacted the way I did by refuting all of his claims of autistic people being unable to do anything. So here's why. I think his plan all along was to make people like me post things like that. For every autistic person who angrily claps back about their contributions to society, he can say, well, it doesn't sound like you're really autistic at all then. He wants to divide us, split us up into two groups. The autistics who aren't really autistic at all and are just, I guess, attention-seeking and should stop whining and keep working. That's people like me. Then there's the second group, those that are more visibly different to him. The people he judges as actually disabled, you know, the ones where he can tell. The non-verbal kids, the regular meltdown people, the folks who do need a deeper level of care. What's he going to do with these people? Smart Money says he'll be taking us back to the good old days when kids got shoveled into long-term institutions where they were at best tolerated and at worst tortured. Out of sight, out of mind, epidemic cured. But the thing is, autistic people who don't pay taxes, who can't work, who can't play baseball, who have never written a poem, who haven't been on dates, who can't use the toilet unassisted, they're still fucking people. They still deserve as much as the most amazing, tax-paying, job-holding, home-run scoring poet who's going on 3 dates right after they've used the toilet all on their own. They do, in fact, deserve more. Despite what the brainworm might be whispering to him, RFK Jr. does not get to decide what makes someone a person. He does not get to redefine people to less than human just because they don't score on his completely random baseball dating test. He does not get to push his dollar store eugenics agenda without some fucking pushback. And he's getting it. Because people who, in a previous generation, would have been bussed off to bleak buildings, well, these days a lot of them are on YouTube and TikTok. As I was writing this, yet another story about RFK broke. Oh joy. He is, it would seem, planning on collating databases of private medical records, which he will then give to outside researchers who are sympathetic to his conspiracy theories. I am willing to guess that they will then find some bullshit correlation between autistic people and people who are vaccinated or on antidepressants or something like that, which the government will use to start filling privately owned institutions full of kids for them to mistreat. This might be a good time to mention the completely unrelated fact that the Action T4 plan was the name for the Nazi operation to round up developmentally disabled kids, including autistics, because they were deemed unworthy of life. You will know, I'm sure, what happened to them. And you know that the rounding up of people did not stop there. Yes, Robert fucking Kennedy is stupid, but he's also deliberately, cynically cruel. Sure, he's doing all the nasty stuff for reasons, but he's still stupid because someone that does things like that for any reason is stupid. Someone like that lacks something basic, something human. Instead of thinking that we live in a world of secret government plans to make us all gay or whatever by putting sequins in vaccines, wouldn't it be better and nicer and healthier to embrace the fact that people are different, and that's amazing? I think so. But then again, I'm autistic, so what do I know? Thanks for watching. If you got this far, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel, leave a like and a comment, and share the video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. My videos are supported by my brilliant backers over on Patreon and Substack. If you want to join them, there are links in the video description. It would mean a lot. There's also a link to my new book, The Magic in You. It's published by Faber and it's available to pre-order wherever you get your books right now, and I'm very proud of it. If you want to find out more about it, then give that video a watch. Thanks again for watching. Hope you're doing okay. I'll see you next time.